You ever feel like life's just happening to you? Like you're sitting in the passenger seat, watching someone else take the wheel? You wake up, check your phone before your feet even touch the floor. Notifications, news, noise. You scroll, you react, you compare, you overthink, you spiral. Then suddenly, it's night. You're tired. Not from action, but from distraction. And somewhere in between all that input, you vanish. Not physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Your goals? Postponed. Your values? Blurred. Your time? Traded for dopamine hits and emotional chaos. And worst of all, you start to believe that this is just how life is now. But what if it isn't? What if the problem isn't the world around you, but the way you respond to it? You weren't born to be controlled by external noise. You weren't built to drift through life with your eyes half open. You were meant to lead yourself with clarity, calm, and purpose. But that kind of leadership doesn't come from a TED Talk. It doesn't come from an Instagram quote or a podcast buzzword. It comes from within, from discipline, from reflection, from the hard work of mastering yourself. And for over 2,000 years, there's been a philosophy designed exactly for that. One that doesn't coddle you, one that doesn't promise comfort, one that doesn't care how you feel, only how you respond. That philosophy is Stoicism. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It's about owning emotion. It's about looking chaos in the eye and saying, "You don't get to decide who I am today." It's a code of conduct for warriors, not of war, but of the mind. For thinkers, for leaders, for anyone who's tired of being ruled by the random. So if you're ready to stop letting the world shape you and start shaping your world, this video isn't just a guide, it's a challenge. A challenge to remember what you already know deep down, that the power you're looking for has always been yours. Forget everything you think you know about Stoicism. It's not about becoming a cold stone wall or some robotic monk who never smiles or feels or breaks down. That's the surface level misunderstanding. People who've never actually read the Stoics love to throw around. Real Stoicism is about radical self-mastery. It's about learning how to navigate the inner storm so the outer storm doesn't pull you under. You don't suppress your emotions. You learn to understand them. You interrogate your anger before it lashes out. You sit with fear without letting it make your choices. You stop outsourcing your peace to things you can't control. And that's what makes Stoicism dangerous in the best way possible. Because once you stop being controlled by every little irritation, by every setback, by every person who cuts you off, or ghosts you, or misunderstands you, you become unshakable. That's not weakness. That's power. Marcus Aurelius ruled the largest empire on earth while writing meditations to remind himself not to let power rule him. Epictetus was born a slave. His freedom wasn't handed to him. It was forged from inside his own mind. Seneca advised emperors and endured exile with more grace than most people handle bad Wi-Fi. They weren't men removed from reality. They were knee-deep in it. And they knew the secret to surviving chaos is learning to master the only thing you ever really own, your own mind. Stoicism teaches you a brutal but liberating truth. You don't control the weather, the politics, the economy, your partner, your boss, or even your next breath. But you do control how you interpret what happens. You do control what meaning you assign to the chaos. You do control whether you react in weakness or respond with wisdom. That tiny gap, that sliver of decision between impulse and action, that's where your power lives. That's where your life is either ruled or reclaimed. And once you get that, once you stop trying to change the world and start learning how to master master your response to it. You stop being a passenger in your life. You take the wheel. You stop begging for peace and start becoming the kind of person who creates it, even in the middle of a storm. That's Stoicism, not detachment, not apathy, but full-blooded engagement with life, on your terms. Let's be real for a second. You're not out of control because life is hard. You're out of control because you keep trying to control the wrong things. You obsess over how people see you, how fast success comes, how perfect your day looks on a screen. You spiral when a plan falls apart, when someone lets you down, when you don't feel productive enough. And yet you rarely ask the one question that Stoicism insists on: is this within my control or not? That question sounds simple, but it's nuclear if you're honest enough to use it. Because most of your suffering doesn't come from the events themselves. It comes from your resistance to those events, from expecting fairness in a world that was never built to be fair, from demanding comfort in a world that offers no guarantees, from tying your peace to things that can vanish in a second, a job, a relationship, a number on a screen. The Stoics knew this trap well. Epictetus said it clearly. You are not disturbed by events, but by your opinions about them. The traffic jam isn't ruining your day. Your belief that it shouldn't be happening is that silence from someone you care about doesn't mean you're unworthy. It only means your brain is rushing to fill a gap with fear. The problem isn't the world. It's that you're trying to control what was never yours to command. And the more you chase that illusion of control, the more powerless you feel. That's when anxiety takes over. When resentment builds, when every little thing becomes a personal attack. But Stoicism cuts through the noise. It pulls you back to the center and says, forget everything else. Start with what's yours. Your attitude, your discipline, your focus, your choices. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. And sometimes that's all it takes to stop drifting through life and start steering again. You don't need a new job or more validation or 1,000 self-help books. You need to stop giving away your peace to things that don't deserve it. That's the first step toward real power. Not over the world, but over yourself. Chaos isn't the enemy. It's the environment. It's the sea you sail on. The Stoics never promised calm waters. They promised you could become a better sailor. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations, not in comfort, but in a battlefield tent surrounded by betrayal, disease, and war. And still he said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The world is unpredictable. The economy shifts the people you love. Change the body you live in. Ages, breaks, surprises you. Your plans unravel, your goals delay, your timelines collapse. But none of that means you're broken. It just means you're human. Chaos isn't personal. It's universal. It's the nature of life. The Stoics weren't trying to escape this. They were learning how to exist inside it without falling apart. They didn't fantasize about control over everything. They developed control within anything. This is where real freedom begins, not in changing your circumstances, but in transforming your stance. Seneca said it best, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Because most of the storms aren't outside, they're inside. Fear of what might happen, anger over what should have happened, regret about what already happened. But the Stoics return you to the only place where strength exists, the present moment, not the illusion of what could have been, not the fantasy of what you wish for. Right now, here where your power lives. They believed your character was tested not by the chaos, but by how you carried yourself through it. Anyone can look composed when everything's going their way. But what do you do when nothing is? That's Stoicism. It doesn't shield you from chaos. It teaches you to move through it with clarity, to stay grounded when the ground shakes, to walk with stillness when the noise is deafening. You don't conquer chaos by denying it. You conquer it by becoming the kind of person it can't destroy. One of the most powerful tools in Stoicism is something called the dichotomy of control. It sounds fancy, but it's simple. Some things are up to you, and some things aren't. This idea flips the script on how we usually think about life. We spend so much time and energy trying to control what we actually can't. Other people's opinions, the weather, the economy, outcomes beyond our reach. And we get frustrated when those things don't bend to our will. Stoicism says that frustration is wasted energy. The key to peace is to focus only on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your attitudes. Epictetus, who was once a slave, hammered this home when he said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us." He knew that if you try to control the uncontrollable, you'll never be free. Imagine your mind as a fortress. You decide what gates to open and what to keep shut. You can't stop the storm from hitting the walls, but you can control how you respond. Will you panic and let the storm in? Or will you stand firm and wait for it to pass? This distinction is so crucial that it transforms how you live every day. When something goes wrong, you don't waste time spiraling into blame or anger. You ask, "Is this something I can change?" If yes, you act with intention and calm. If no, you accept with grace and move forward. This doesn't mean you become passive. Far from it. Stoicism is about fierce responsibility over what is yours to command. Your effort, your integrity, your courage. When you master this dichotomy, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You become the captain of your soul. Seneca put it like this: "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Change your opinion, change your world. This is the heart of taking control of your life. Because once you stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable, you reclaim it for what matters: your growth, your choices, your peace. The dichotomy of control isn't just philosophy. It's a way to live lighter, freer, and stronger. It's the foundation for all the power Stoicism offers. Stoicism isn't just theory, it's a daily practice. Philosophy that sits on your shelf does nothing. The real power comes when you bring it into your day-to-day life. The ancient Stoics developed exercises, simple but profound tools to train their minds and shape their character. Let's walk through some of the most transformative ones that you can start using today. 1. Negative visualization. Sounds scary, right? But it's one of the most liberating practices. You imagine losing what you cherish: your job, your health, your loved ones. Why? Because by contemplating loss, you train your mind not to fear it. You prepare yourself emotionally for life's hardships before they come. This makes gratitude sharper and anxiety weaker. Marcus Aurelius did this often. Before facing the chaos of empire, he would remind himself, "This too shall pass." Try this for a moment. Think about something you deeply value. Now imagine it gone. Notice the feelings that arise, not to dwell in sadness, but to awaken your appreciation. 2. The evening reflection. Each night before bed, reflect on your day. What did you do well? Where did you slip up? What could you have handled with more wisdom or patience? This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness and growth. Seneca called it examining the ledger of your soul. Try asking yourself, did I act with virtue today? Did I control my emotions or let them control me? This practice rewires your brain to prioritize improvement and self-mastery. 3. Voluntary discomfort. This may sound counterintuitive, but seeking discomfort on purpose builds resilience. The Stoics believed that by regularly exposing themselves to small hardships, they would become stronger against life's big blows. It could be waking up early, fasting, or taking a cold shower. The goal is to train your mind to endure discomfort without complaint. When real challenges come, they're less overwhelming. This exercise teaches you the difference between what's painful and what's unbearable. Stoicism is about choice. You choose discomfort now to avoid needless suffering later. 4. Control your judgment. Epictetus said, "It's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them." You have the power to reframe your perspective. When something negative happens, pause and ask yourself, is this really bad, or am I labeling it as such? Can I see a lesson or opportunity hidden here? This mental shift changes everything. It's not about lying to yourself, but choosing to see clearly. Each time you catch yourself spiraling into judgment, practice stepping back. Ask, what would a wise person think here? 5. Focus on virtue. At the core of Stoicism is the pursuit of virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These aren't abstract ideals, they are daily actions. When faced with decisions, ask yourself, is this wise? Is this courageous? Is this just? Is this moderate? Virtue becomes your compass when the world feels chaotic. When you center your life on these values, external circumstances lose their grip. You become anchored in who you are, not what happens to you. These exercises aren't quick fixes. They're lifelong practices. But over time, they build mental strength and clarity. They create a shield against the chaos of life. They teach you to respond with power, not panic. If you commit to even one of these starting today, you'll notice a shift. A new calm, a new control, a new freedom. That's the promise of Stoicism in practice. Stoicism isn't a philosophy you read once and tuck away like an old book. It's a way of life, one that demands consistency, intention, and awareness every single day. Living Stoicism daily means weaving its principles into the fabric of your routines, thoughts, and actions. It's about creating habits that reflect the mindset of a Stoic in a world that constantly tests your patience, your values, and your peace. 1. Start your day with purpose. Before the chaos of the day begins, take a moment to set your intention. Marcus Aurelius began his mornings by reminding himself what kind of person he wanted to be: patient, kind, just, and resilient. You don't need to be emperor to do this. Before you check your phone or dive into emails, ask yourself, who do I want to be today? What virtues will I practice? Setting this tone helps you avoid being reactive and instead become proactive in shaping your day. 2. Practice mindful presence. The world loves distraction. Our minds are pulled in 1,000 directions: news alerts, social media, endless tasks. Stoicism invites you to anchor yourself in the present moment. When you're eating, eat fully. When you're working, work fully. When you're listening, listen fully. This presence creates clarity. It reduces anxiety rooted in regrets of the past or worries about the future. The only thing you truly control is this moment right here. 3. Respond, don't react. Life will throw curveballs. Someone may cut you off in traffic. A project may fall through. Your first instinct might be to snap, panic, or complain. Stoicism teaches you to pause. Take a breath. Remember that the event itself isn't what harms you. It's your reaction. When you respond consciously, you regain control. You refuse to give your power away to external chaos. 4. Embrace what you cannot change. This might be the hardest lesson. There will always be things outside your control. The economy, other people's actions, natural disasters. The Stoics say, focus only on what lies within your power. This doesn't mean passivity or giving up. It means investing your energy wisely. Let go of the rage or frustration about what you cannot change. Instead, put your focus on how you respond, how you adapt, and what you create from your circumstances. 5. Reflect and refine. Each evening, take time to reflect on how you lived your day. What worked? Where did you stray? Did you meet your own standards of virtue? This daily reflection is not about harsh judgment, but growth. It's a chance to course correct and build momentum. Living Stoicism daily is about a continuous cycle of awareness and improvement. Remember, no one wakes up a perfect Stoic. It's a practice, a journey, a commitment to rise above impulse and live with intention. By integrating these principles into your daily life, you start taking back your power moment by moment. The chaos of the world doesn't have to dictate your peace. You can choose who you become, one day at a time. In today's world, challenges come at us faster and louder than ever before. Information overload, social pressures, economic uncertainty. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, powerless, even lost. But the Stoic mindset is exactly what we need to navigate this storm. It's not about escaping modern problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about facing them head-on with clarity, resilience, and unwavering focus. 1. Cut through the noise. The first challenge is the constant barrage of distractions, phones buzzing, endless notifications, and the pressure to always be on. Stoicism teaches us to filter what truly matters. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, don't waste mental energy on it. Train yourself to focus deeply on what you can influence. This creates mental space and peace amid the chaos. 2. Own your emotions. Don't let them own you. Modern life can feel like an emotional roller coaster. News cycles whip us from hope to despair. Social media fuels comparison and insecurity. Stoicism reminds us that emotions are not enemies, they're signals. But we don't have to be slaves to them. Pause, observe your feelings, and then choose your response. This practice transforms emotional storms into manageable waves. 3. Accept uncertainty without fear. In a world of rapid change, uncertainty is the only constant. Jobs shift, relationships evolve, health fluctuates. The Stoic mindset is grounded in accepting what we cannot predict or control. Instead of resisting uncertainty, we embrace it as part of life's fabric. This acceptance breeds courage, the courage to move forward even when the path is unclear. 4. Build inner resilience. External circumstances will always test us, but resilience is built inside. Stoicism trains you to strengthen your inner fortress through perspective and practice. When faced with setbacks, you don't crumble. You see obstacles as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more patient. 5. Live with purpose and integrity. Amid the noise and uncertainty, the Stoic mindset centers you on what truly matters, your values. Living with purpose means aligning actions with core virtues: honesty, courage, justice, and wisdom. This alignment grounds you in integrity. It makes every choice a chance to build a meaningful life, not just react to circumstances. The modern world is complex and often chaotic, but with the Stoic mindset, you reclaim control over your inner world. You develop a calm clarity that guides you through any storm. This isn't just philosophy, it's a survival strategy, a way to thrive, not just survive. And the best part? It's available to anyone willing to learn and practice. The question is, are you ready to take that step?